Hello, welcome to Girl Scouts Today, a brand new show about the face of Girl Scouting throughout the Gulf Coast region. I'm Andrea Magella, a second-year volunteer unit manager for Manatee One, troop leader, cookie coordinator, mom to Girl Scout Brianna, and today's host of Girl Scouts Today. On March 12, 2012, Girl Scouts celebrated its 100th year anniversary. Many of the ideals and principles of Girl Scout founder Juliet Gordon Low are still alive. For the past 100 years, Girl Scouting has built courage, confidence, and character in girls of all nationalities and socioeconomic backgrounds. It was these ideas that helped build leaders such as Hillary Rodham Clinton, Elizabeth Dole, Sandra Day O'Connor, Dr. Joyce Brothers, Katie Couric, Barbara Walters, Martha Stewart, Lucille Ball, Mary Tyler Moore, and Gloria Steinem, all Girl Scout alumni. The heart of Girl Scouting will always be about building tomorrow's leaders and innovators, but the methods have changed some to keep pace with the girls of today. In this series, you'll get a glimpse into how girls from Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida, are leaving a fingerprint on their world. You'll visit girls as they work on service projects that are improving their community. You watch them gain relevant and valuable life skills, explore career opportunities, embrace the outdoors, and practice a healthy lifestyle. You will also meet some of the girls in our area who are paving the way for Girl Scouting in the next 100 years, as well as volunteers who are inspiring and encouraging the next generation of influencers. To help kick off our new show, we have a few guests here today. Sue Stewart, CEO of Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida. Sue joined the Girl Scout movement in April 2006 as CEO of the Girl Scout Council of Central New York. She has been the CEO here on the Gulf Coast since January of 2010. Sue believes strongly in the power of the Girl Scout movement and believes that not only are Girl Scouts our leaders of tomorrow, but they are leaders here today. Also with us today is Sonia Matson, who has been a volunteer troop leader for several years with a multi-level troop in Manatee County. Sonia has just returned from a Girl Scout trip to Savannah, the birthplace of Girl Scouts. And we have Jillian Polino, a Girl Scout ambassador from Manatee County who is serving as a girl representative on the board for Gulf Coast, Florida for 2013 and attended the Girl Leadership Institute at the National Convention in both 2008 and 2011. To anyone who'd like to answer, in what ways are Girl Scouts making an impact on the community?
Hi, Andrea. I'm so glad to be here today and really proud to represent the Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida. Our girls today are impacting the community with their knowledge and skills, but most importantly, they're giving back to their communities in tremendous ways. And I think Jillian can share some of the ways that she has done that.
Well, I recently earned my Gold Award, which is the highest award a Girl Scout can achieve. And taking on such large projects in your community and giving back in that way really gives you a better sense of self, because taking on something so large and delegating up different tasks when trying to give back, and I gave back personally to my church. I painted the classrooms inside the church and wiped down the floors and replaced the outlet covers. And being able to achieve something so large really makes you feel like you have the power to do anything. And I think that's one of the great aspects that Girl Scouts gives. Mm-hmm. So
that's wonderful. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Sonia, with all the opportunities available and all that you already do in the other areas of your life, what drew you to become a volunteer for Girl Scouts?
Well, really, I wasn't a Girl Scout myself. Growing up, that wasn't something that I was really aware of, was the Girl Scout movement, personally. My daughter just had such an interest in doing it that I decided, well, let me look into it more and investigate a little bit. And what I saw really impressed me. It really holds the same values that I wanted for my daughter anyways. I want her to have confidence. I want her to be able to do these projects on her own. I want her to make a difference in the community. Mm-hmm. And it just overlapped perfectly with our lives and what I want us to do. So when it came time to sign her up, I didn't just want to sign her up, I wanted to be involved too. But I'm involved in her Sunday school classes and I volunteer in her classroom. So for me, it was just one more thing that I could participate with her. And again, not growing up as a Girl Scout, I myself have learned so much. I had never been camping until I took my girls camping. I took the classes. So I'm having a fabulous time learning as my girls are learning too.
How many years have you been a Girl Scout leader?
This is just my 3rd year.
That's great.
So.
Okay, for Jillian, how has Girl Scouts affected the person that you are today?
Wow, well, it's hard to explain in words all Girl Scouts has done for me. I've been a Girl Scout since I was 5 years old, so I can't really imagine life without being in Girl Scouts. And it's definitely, it's made me a better leader, and it's made me realize who I am inside, because the 3 pillars of leadership are discover, connect, and take action. And I've discovered who I am through the various merit badges and journeys that we can do, and I've also been able to meet just some wonderful and inspiring ladies, not only in my troop, but outside of that, and that helps me to connect with my community. And I've also learned that taking action is definitely something that it seems so scary when you're a kid. I mean, what can a kid do? But we really can do anything. We can change the world and keep it at a standstill, and it's so empowering to see something like that. So I think Girl Scouts has had just such a great impact on my life. It's given me the skills to be able to speak out, and it's also given me the skills to be a leader. So,
very confident. Do you see yourself as a young woman of confidence, character, and courage?
Absolutely. I mean, I have recently attended a luncheon with Miss Sue, and I met one of the council members for Bradenton, Miss Marianne Barnaby. And from there, I realized I was really interested in her job, which happened to be sitting on the city council board. And I went to one of the meetings, and the more and more I look into it, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be able to give back, and that's something Girl Scouts has definitely taught me to be able to do, is to give back to my community. I mean, they made me who I am today. So it's given me such a deep sense of assurance in myself. And going into political science, that's a male-dominated field. I know I have the courage to do so because of the background Girl Scouts has given me. I have the confidence to do it, and I know I'll be able to show my character and the morals that I've been able to develop through that field.
That's wonderful. Sue, if you would tell us about Girl Scout community troops and the vision behind them, and how can people get involved?
Well, we really believe strongly that Girl Scouting is for every girl. And over the 100 years, we really were fortunate to have a founding leader in Juliette Gordon Low who said, yes, Girl Scouting belongs in every community for and with every girl. So traditionally, people know us as Girl Scout troops, and we also provide opportunities for girls to work in the environment, to go to a series, or come to an event. But we identified that in certain communities, Girl Scouting was not as readily available. So community troops are identified in communities that are traditionally underserved, may have issues of poverty or lower socioeconomic status. And we also identified that perhaps the volunteer pool isn't as plentiful as it might be in other communities. So community troops are groups of girls who have similar interests to want to belong to this great leadership organization. Our leadership of the adults, positive, caring adult role models, and girls are able to participate in the same way that their sisters do all across our country. So community troops are typically funded through grants and donor support, and each girl is able to achieve the same outcomes as Jillian would, but with the support of a really caring community, a group of people who say, yes, this is for every girl. So we have girls who are participating who live in North Sarasota, who live in Laurel, and in communities in Bradenton as well.
All right, wonderful. This is for Sonia. How does Girl Scouts help girls explore talents and interests that may lead to a future career?
Well, I know for our troop and what we've done is we try to take monthly field trips. And so, for example, we've been to a veterinary office to learn about pet care and whatnot. And I had some girls that came out of that just had never, who may not have pets and have that experience, really, I mean, it just opened their eyes. They just had no idea. And to see the equipment and, go in the back room that, others don't get to do, even just, as pet owners. Or I've taken them we did gymnastics. And some of them had never experienced that before. They were kind of scared to go on a beam, kind of scared to try the bars. And now they're in classes because that 1 hour experience had such an impact on them. So we're still, I have 4th and 5th graders. As far as long-term careers, we're exploring different areas. I'm not sure long-term yet. Like we do trips and things, but it's just about opening their eyes and having those experiences that they wouldn't otherwise.
Right.
Most of mine, I would say, 80% probably wouldn't have gone camping if it wasn't for us doing it with our troop. Just realizing stuff that you're maybe uncomfortable with, or you wouldn't have thought you'd like. Maybe you don't like bugs and you have to sleep outside. They want to do it. They want to keep doing it. They want to keep doing new things. And so, they don't just take me for my ideas. They've told me what they want to do. We just came back to Savannah. They're telling me what they want their next trip to be and where and what are we going to do. So I'm hoping that is building the confidence that when it comes time to making those choices in the future and being adventurous, that's what we've taught them, is that, oh, maybe I didn't think I'd want to be a politician or go into something like that. But wow, we've had this experience, we've met people that make it really look interesting and fun. So.
And what I like that Sonia just said is that she's really an excellent role model for girls in 4th and 5th grade. Our National Research Institute through Girl Scouting has identified that by 4th grade, often girls are reluctant to raise their hand in class. They're starting to feel some of the effects of peer pressure, maybe a little bit of bullying. So girls in Girl Scouting, and particularly at that grade level, begin to see that there are other girls that they can be with in a safe environment, whether it's a physically safe, emotionally safe space where they can achieve what they want to be and be who they are.
That's
So for us to have girls stay through 4th and 5th grade, to then become involved in middle school to further that confidence, and then by the time they're in high school, such girls like Jillian, they have the opportunity to achieve their higher level awards and be able to really experience the support that the community has for them as well.
That's wonderful. For Jillian, tell us about your experiences with the Girl Scout Journey curriculum and the badge program.
Okay, well, I definitely grew up when the badges were popular, so that's what I'm most comfortable with. I mean, the badges have taught me to get outside of my comfort zone and explore the different fields I wouldn't normally be tackling, but I'm really starting to love the journeys, which there are 3 main ones, which it's your world, change it, it's your story, tell it, and it's your planet, love it. And these 3 key journeys really focus in on things very relevant to our lives now. They focus in on the environment, technology. I mean, every day we're hearing how technology is completely changing our life, and it's always just improving. So it's very important to analyze through those journeys how big of an impact everything has. And what I absolutely love about them most is that we could be doing the same journey, but my fellow Girl Scout might think something completely different than me, and we're able to discover our own views on a specific topic. And then it also gives us many opportunities to then take what we're learning through these journeys and be able to go out and implement that in our community in various different ways through Take Action projects.
Right.
So.
Right, perfect. What have you learned from your years as a small business operator during the cookie sale?
Well, Girl Scout cookies, that's something Girl Scouts are known for. We're known for our cookies, our camping, and our arts and crafts. So what very few people really know about Girl Scout cookies is that it's a lot of work, really. It's not just, do you want to buy my Girl Scout cookies, and giving them the box and that's it. There's a lot more behind it. There's goal setting, there's money management, there's so many different things, and especially with supply and demand, how many cookies you keep at your Cookie Mom's house compared to how many have actually already been pre-ordered. That's something I definitely faced this year, as all of my friends are starting to come up to me and saying, oh my gosh, you're a Girl Scout, I need cookies.
Right.
Well, I didn't have those cookies on me because you didn't pre-order. So it's definitely a balance, really. And I think what's great about the cookie program is for the younger girls, it implements goal setting. And that's something that, as little kids, we really don't get to experience that a lot, especially something with such cause and effect like that, because we say, I want to buy, or I want to sell 1,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, and then raising that amount and feeling really, really proud about something you've put so much into. And
you did it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, I think it's really shown us perseverance, because we know that when people say no, they might not really mean no. They just want to think about it a little bit longer. And we really know how to take an answer and just say, okay, thank you. And it's not the end of the world. And we learn that's something very, very big, especially as you get older, because people are going to tell you no, and you have to learn
Certainly,
that you
yeah.
just move on. So.
Right, great. What are some interesting things that you've done with your cookie proceeds?
Well, with this year, we are actually undecided as a troop. I think we might be saving it up to go to a big trip. But in the past, we've definitely used it to go camping, which I absolutely love. Camping at Honeyhana and Calusa, those are our main camps. And I've also, my biggest thing we've ever done was to go to Savannah, which I absolutely adored the area. It's the birthplace of Julia Gordon-Low, and I think there's so much heritage in it.
Yes.
And so I think it's really made an impact just through little trips we get to do together. So.
Did you learn a lot when you went to Savannah?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you learn so much about how girls acted hundreds of years ago and then how we act now and how it's so radically different because gender roles are changing so much, and it's
Right.
really, I believe, because of what Julia Gordon-Low started. She started a group of changing women who think we don't have to be the housewife, we can be the leaders, we can be the next role models of.
Or a politician.
Exactly. I can be the next president if I want
That's right.
to. So
That's exactly
it's great.
right. That's exactly right. And for Sue, tell us about outdoor environmental leadership opportunities with the Girl Scouts.
Well, I think tagging on to what Jillian said, girls today don't know anything about what camping is. If they're fortunate to have families that take that opportunity, that's great, but so many of the girls we
It's
meet
rare, yes.
have not been outside their own neighborhoods. So a little bit different twist on camping for us is that we're really trying to show girls that love of nature and the return to the environment, and an opportunity for girls to be outside, to learn more about what we have in Florida in terms of our environment and ecosystem. So the properties that we own, both in Bradenton and North Fort Myers, give girls that same chance to spend the night, to make s'mores, to kayak, maybe to do some rock wall climbing. But beneath that is that environmental leadership piece. So how do we learn how to conserve our energy and our resources, and bring your recycling water bottles, and learn where food comes from? So there's a whole generation of girls that can really benefit from what so many of us had previously learned and were able to take advantage of. So passing it on to a new generation in new ways.
That's wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about your trip to Savannah?
Sure. We planned this a little bit over a year. We knew last year when we were doing our cookie sales that we were going to put part of the proceeds away to this trip, and then set goals for this year's cookie sales in order to help pay for everything. So we stayed right off the main historic district. Everything's walking distance, so we didn't have to worry about paying for parking and those sorts of things.
Right.
We spent the morning seeing a PowerPoint presentation at the Juliette Low House, which was wonderful. We really learned some things we hadn't heard about her before. They have the best stories that you just don't read anywhere. You know, she really was a woman who didn't take no for an answer. She really had an amazing amount of confidence for that day of age.
A great leader.
Wonderful. And, you know, Savannah is just a city ready for girls to come and Girl Scouts. You know, everywhere you go, they're excited. Everybody's waving at us at our trip. I mean, they're all in their green vests, ready to go, and everyone's so friendly. You know, in the afternoon, we did an arts and craft class at the house. And so we were doing things that they would have done 100 years ago in the same way. Nothing difficult, but stuff that we hadn't done ourselves. It was really, I mean, the girls left with such a impact of, wow, this didn't cost a lot of money. This was an activity, and we have a sister troop ourselves, so we're going to go, that are brownies, that they're already planning on going and teaching them how to do it because they enjoyed it so much. But Savannah also had, you know, separate from the Juliette Low House, we took an etiquette course. So they had a meal, they had to learn how to sit properly, how to use a knife and fork, how to have a toast. You know, things that just, as a Girl Scout troop, it was really fascinating to see, because nowadays sometimes you go places and sometimes girls and boys are, you know, not as well behaved as maybe the parents would like them to be, and it's not that they're not capable, it's just that, you know, we don't always have the time or the energy to teach them. They soaked that up like sponges. I mean, our host was just amazed at how well they were really paying attention and asking questions, and how should you eat this, and how should you do that. And there's asking questions everywhere. You know, we took a walking tour in the evening. We took a ghost tour.
Oh, wow.
Walking ghost tour. And again, the person, our tour guide, really honed it towards their age, which was wonderful. It was such a great historic city, and to see where Julia Lowe grew up, to really hear the history and the circumstances, you know, of her life, and to say, wow, we need to really appreciate what we have, take this home with us, teach other Girl Scouts about it. And you know, that was really something that now they were telling me, I mean, we came back yesterday, they're planning their next trip.
The girls?
The girls in their heads are telling me, we want to go here and we want to go there. And I said, okay, well, we're going to have to save up again and we're going to have to start planning and whatnot. And they're not scared to tell me their opinions, you know, in a very good way, though. I mean, they're really, you know, when we started, you know, as brownies, they were, you know, they just defer to the adults. They just follow whatever you're going to tell them to do. They really know that the decisions made I may not agree with. I may not want to do that. That wasn't maybe my first choice, but I'm going to listen to them, and then they have the good points, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm so proud that they have that confidence to tell me and to understand that we're a team. So sometimes, you know, if 4 girls want to do something and 8 want to do something else, we're going to go with the 8. And again, to accept that, like Jillian was saying about the accepting no as an answer.
Right.
You have to accept that, but still be appreciative. Hey, we're doing something.
Right.
We're moving on. We're going to have a fabulous time and really learn some things.
Right.
And any Girl Scout troop that would go to Savannah, I mean, it was such a great experience. It's such a nice city. It's inviting, it's welcoming, and they love their Girl Scouts there.
And they did learn a lot about how the Girl Scouts were.
Absolutely. I mean, that
ago.
was a big thing. You know, we went to a museum that they have a Girl Scout exhibit. It's fairly new, and it was across the street from our hotel. And you see all the different uniforms and all the wool uniforms, and they're down to their ankles, and they're hot. This is in Savannah, you know, and they showed all the badges, but how, you know, the uniforms changed, or the hats based on the times, and how they were swimming in full clothes. And the girls, it had an impact on them to see that, because you see it in a book is one thing.
Sure.
But to see it standing in front of you, I mean, they had this setup for weaving to show how they made their own blankets. We don't think to do now. And, you know, I'm sitting there learning, going, we could do that. That's not impossible. But they showed the Girl Scouts sawing their own wood.
Wow.
You know, 100 years ago. And like, who would think to do that now? You could go buy wood at Walmart. Or
and not think twice about it.
And not think twice about it.
Right.
So they were really amazed that we could do that. I don't know if we all want to, but we could. And girls have been doing that for hundreds of years. It's not impossible. It's not as difficult as I think, you know, we think that it is. So yes, it was wonderful.
I don't even think that a lot of the girls even realize that's what they used to do.
Right.
You know, they're not even aware of that.
Absolutely.
Am I right, Jillian?
Absolutely. I mean, technology keeps changing everything we're doing, and so especially with the new Apples and everything else, things seem so easy, and we forget sometimes that us as a human race has worked so hard to get there, and we tend to forget about the past.
Right.
What's also great about the history and girls understanding history is that women have been so supportive of one another over the century, and so many of the values back in Juliet's day, friendship, understanding how community works, giving back, all of those values are still an important part of Girl Scouting today. And what really excites me is now that girls have heard other women's stories, how now girls can create their own stories. So the beauty of Girl Scouting being girl-led, that we're creating that next generation, and we're continuing to give it and pay it forward to other women. So it's really very powerful.
Very powerful. I agree. Okay, well, I think that it's time to wrap it up. So is there any last thoughts that you might have as we finish up?
I would just like to say that for any mother who would be thinking, oh my gosh, I want my girls in Girl Scouts, but it's so hard, it's so much work, I don't know where to begin in volunteering, that there are so many resources and so many other women that are willing to help. I've talked to new Daisy leaders who just feel overwhelmed and have just said, hey, you know, I was there, I've done this, how can I help you? There's always a helping hand, and you know, all it takes is the one mom to start it off, and it's amazing how the other moms join in and help too. Like you said, the women always there to support each other, and so I would say jump in, you won't regret it. It's a wonderful opportunity for your daughter.
Thank you. Jillian?
I think that we need to address the major misconception that Girl Scouts is not for daisies alone. We really have so many great programs, especially for high school students, that I think a majority of my peers don't even realize that's out there. So you definitely want to take advantage of all of these different opportunities out there. I mean, our core values are definitely the same, but we're constantly changing. We're not the program we were 100 years ago. We're not the program we're going to be in the future 100 years from now,
Right.
because we're constantly changing and making it very appealing to our generation. So.
Sue?
And I would say that Girl Scouting is a movement where not only in our 10 counties in Southwest Florida, but across the country and even across the world, that we have women and girls working to make the world a better place. So fortunate in our communities, and I'm so proud to be the CEO of this organization, where we are making a difference, and that knowing that the girls who are part of us right now are recruiting other girls like Jillian does, other volunteers like Sonia does, and that you do as well, Angela. Thank you so much. That, Andrea, I'm so sorry,
okay.
that we can really make a difference not only for today, but tomorrow. So proud to be here and share our story.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing everything.
Thanks.
Thank you for spending a part of your day with us. Special thanks to METV for producing this series. Please tune in next month. We'll give you an inside glimpse at how Girl Scouts are impacting the community through volunteer programs and service projects. Please join us then.